All right, we are live for our Wednesday daytime stream for Pokemon. Let me go ahead and start this up. We got the menu. We've got Prismatic Evolutions coming to the menu now. Prismatic Evolutions Premium Tyranitar and Lucario collection. Live card shop. All right, so that's the title. Of course, the other title might be there was a pretty big political assassination today. You might not have heard of the guy. I don't know if you had, but it was a speaker named Charlie Kirk was politically assassinated today. So I just been watching the news on that. So that is why we are late. Let's go ahead and sign in here. My computer got reset, so I got to log back into everything. That's pretty big news. Hey, what's up, Jack? Rip Charlie. Rip Charlie. I'm going to log back in here. So much news. Here it is. It's a really sad thing if you think about it. We are obviously we don't support any violence over here. That's a terrible thing. It's crazy because I was flipping through comment sections and there were so many people who were, I guess, political opponents of his who were like cheering this, and I was just thinking, I was like, man, you're you're naive to think that this is a good thing. You know, because it can happen on both sides, and it probably has happened on both sides in the past. But most recently, it's been happening a lot to Republicans, and it's not a good thing politically, and just from the perspective of not wanting more violence. So I don't know. Now we sit back and we see if there's any retributional attacks. I hope there won't be. I don't think there will be. I think most of it's just coming from one side recently. All right, so my computer reset, and now it's loading all these websites. So give us a second here, guys. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and start closing some of this. We're doing well on subscribes. Look at us, 98,619. We got a nice spike of subscribes. Let's see. Pop Ghost Weasel. So, exactly. So, Charles Black, I think that's like a jab at him. And I don't think you understand the political fallout that's going to occur on the left. You know, I think Elon Musk tweeted today, he said the party of the left is the party of murder. And it's getting harder to deny that if there's multiple assassination attempts on your political opponent. And if you got chat rooms full of people who are gleefully celebrating a successful assassination, the problem with reverting to that assassinations as a legitimate attempt at politics is there's going to be a point where the Republican Party goes crazy, and it's going to be both sides, and that's going to be real bad. So you don't want that. And so, you know, the response from the left is important. The response from the right is probably just going to be grief for a while. And I saw all the Democrat leaders, they came and condemned it, and that was a good thing. All right, so, wow, we're at 98,619. Go ahead and close this. Hey, what's up, Mr. LaFlame? Red or blue, nobody deserves death. Well, I mean, if you get to the point where killing people is a legitimate political strategy, that's just civil war. That's all it is. And you're having a delay where one side's not participating yet, but if the other side actually begins to participate, that's really bad. You know what I mean? So it's like everyone has to reject this idea that this is good, or that this is a legitimate strategy, or that, you know, we're glad that this happened. Because if that's the position you take, that you're glad or that this was good, it's going to start happening on both sides. That's my prediction. I don't condone it. I think it's terrible. I definitely condemn it. I think it's a terrible idea. You know, in politics, both sides have to be able to debate even their most crazy ideas, and be able to do so safely, so that those ideas can go up and be defeated with, you know, with debate and conversation and intelligence, not with violence. All right. So we're just setting up. We got to get a price on these prismatics, man. Prismatic, it's on the menu. We have the Prismatic SPC. Now we need a new thing called the Prismatic Tyranitar Lucario Premium Collection. Let's just say Eevee here, so people know what's what. And then this one's going to be, Prismatic Premium Collection Lucario. Let's say Lucario. All right, so there's a Lucario and a Tyranitar, and they're stamped, and it's super cool. Prismatic's in a great spot right now. I recommend it. Lucario box. Can we get a rest in peace? Rip for Charlie, man. Killing anyone is wrong. That's right. We have to have a strong belief in murder is wrong. If you don't believe that, that's not a good situation to be in. But yeah, I think it's a today's going to be a pretty significant day politically. All right, let's see. So the question is, where do we go from here? What happens next? All right. He was just 31. I know another person I outlived. I outlived the girl who just got stabbed on the train. And I just outlived Charlie Kirk. Wow, I'm amazing. All I have to do is stay here in my room and open cards, and I live longer than people. Let's see. So we want a price on the Prismatic Evolutions. I don't think he passed. I think he is hiding. Nah, he's definitely passed. Hold one out for the Master Debater. Yeah, South Park, who has been taking kind of a hard leftist stance the last couple episodes, had just finished making fun of him. And so I think now in hindsight, those are going to be some pretty bad episodes for South Park. We are. Let's see. It's not going to be remembered well. We are. It's funnier when he's alive. It's not funny when he's been assassinated. Okay, so we have a price for our Prismatic set. For now, it's going to be 180. I'm going to call it hot. Let me just double check that, because that seems uncomfortable. Give me a second here. Looks like there's plenty of it. Yeah, that's a good thing, man. We got some great Prismatic product right now. I don't condone. Kirk himself said he's fine with the few annual deaths to maintain the Second Amendment. Yeah, so I've seen Democrats make this argument. I would not make that argument. It's very weak. It's a very poor argument. Basically, Democrats are saying it's okay he got shot. He was pro-Second Amendment, and he said this thing about some people died of guns. The problem with that is the same argument applies with cars. Let's say that he was for people having a vehicle, and then people say, well, what about this terrorist attack with the car? What about people dying in car crashes? And he says, well, if everyone owns a car, that's going to happen. That doesn't mean you can now take a vehicle and run Charlie Kirk over and say, see, I told you some people died from a car. So it's a very weak argument that will be defeated right away. So, right after he's died, everyone's picking that, little argument. It won't last. It's a very weak argument. It doesn't give you a right to shoot people. Well, he said he supports the Second Amendment, so he should have been shot. It's a very weak position. And it doesn't sound good. So let's see. Wait, how much did I pay for these? Did I pay more for these? I wonder what I was paying for these. Okay. SB might have a tank on their ratings. I seen it on Instagram. Yeah. Whew. Oh, I see. I actually paid a bit more on these. That's interesting. All right. So we do have a price. Give me a minute. So the price will be set at $195. Okay. And there we go. I'm going to leave it there. Prismatic, $195. We got the Prismatic set. Very nice. It's because I sourced mine from, one of them is just a straight up case. So that's really nice. All right. I'm so lost. What's happened now? Everyone would be happy about this. It's all over social media, man. If you go into the comment sections and it's not strictly Republican, there's a ton of people celebrating it. It's not a good look. There you go. Or people saying he deserved it. It's like, all right, well, it's a very bad position to take, because it's like, okay, what if the Republicans feel like some Democrat has been too radical? Is that an okay for an assassination? It's not. It's not. It's a bad thing to say. All right. Picking up a lot more of this product. I think this product is good. We got some nice stamped promos and surprisingly affordable booster packs. I saw that anonymous guy on Twitter celebrating. What's the free one today? What do I type? Hey, what's up, Six? Did you see the Wall Street Journal made a piece on Pokemon card investments? What? Let me look this up. We were just pricing up our Prismatic set. And so now I'm going to look at this. Pokemon. The hot investment with the $3,000 return, question mark? Pokemon cards. Posted 3 hours ago? Posted 13 hours ago. The franchise's trading cards are beating the benchmark S&P 500 and high-flying stocks like Meta. I like diversifying my investments. Dang, dude. Wow. So it's telling a story. Lucas Shaw hit the jackpot with his latest investment. This 27-year-old account manager in Ohio used some of the gains to splurge on his fiance's custom engagement ring with 3 diamonds totaling 3.5 carats. The money also helped pay for their wedding. Shaw's windfall didn't involve big tech stocks or crypto. It was thanks to the hottest investment among individual traders these days, Pokemon cards. The cute fictional characters blasted off in 1996. So check this out. Are you ready? Check out this chart, everybody. Wow. Beating baseball cards like it's nothing. Wow. Severely beating the S&P 500. In other words, Pokemon card prices could fall in half and they would still be a better investment than the S&P 500. That's severe. That's really crazy. I'm the luckiest guy alive right now. I bought exactly the right thing. In fact, if only I had bought more. If only I bought more, because I was in a position to buy more and I didn't. I bought like real estate because I was being careful. Yeah, I could have, instead of holding on to real estate, I could have put every penny into Pokemon and I'd be even better off. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Wall Street talking about Pokemon. We reached the top of the bull run. Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe there's a lag effect first. I don't know. They were real little, so hopefully they won't remember. Oh, you're talking about the kids. Yeah, I don't know, man. He is survived by his children. He's a lucky man. He has some children, so he has passed away, but his children live on. So that is a good thing. But yeah, I guess we're still. Charlie Kirk would probably be the subject of today, and really, really powerful memory, I bet. So it's like, even if you don't like his ideas, even if you hate him, anytime a prominent political figure gets assassinated like this, it's like you're promising that their ideas are going to be remembered for a long time. So, you know, he's going to reach, not in the Democrat Party, but in the Republican Party, he's going to reach martyrdom. And I don't think shooting him is going to give you the results you wanted, you know. Ultimately, humans don't aspire to that. They don't want to reach a point where it's like, oh yeah, our lifestyle, killing our opponent's political speakers, you know, it's just not a thing. And people look at that and say, that's an evil, you know, if you lived in a country where that was normal, you'd think you're living in some corrupt country where political figures get assassinated, and people like condemn and look down on those kinds of countries. So, you know, people don't aspire to that. They aspire to intellectual debate. You're supposed to defeat your opponent with better arguments, and that's what we aspire to. And so I think he'll end up being a martyr. It's very fascinating. And this comes right on the heels of the assassination of the girl on the train, the Ukrainian refugee girl. I saw more of that video. I wondered why the people next to her didn't help her. It's because the guy who stabbed her was standing there with the knife out right next to her. So if you stood up and tried to help, he might have stabbed you too. And so that has already got people very riled up. This is my prediction. The Democrats have already lost the midterms. Republicans hold on to the political power, the supermajority. Okay, Yugi Tao. So he sent $15 toward his slab away. They take one, we take one. I was just talking about this with my friends. We don't play gang. They were really a little hopeful. They won't remember, bullish. Resorting to violence because you don't like people's talking points makes you less than human. I don't think it makes you less than human. I think it makes you exactly a human. You're a human by definition, but you're not a kind of human that's going to get very far. That's the better way to put it. All right, let's see. You will not be accepted into a civilized society. Here we are. Hold on. All right. Give me a second. Okay. Hey, what's up, CS man? How's it going, man? Mr. New Elden Ring mode drops soon. You've been playing any lately? Yeah, I play like a game per day, a game or two per day. I've been fighting Tricephalos. I was on a team with another Guardian, and you know, whenever you're on a team with another Guardian, you're always worried it's going to be a bad match because I've been playing Guardian for 300 hours. I don't run into a lot of good Guardians generally. I think it's just people testing them out. We beat them. It was 2 Guardians and a Raider, and we beat them like it was easy. So I think Tricephalos he's weak to shields. The trick is when he splits into 3, they try to get around you. So when he's split into 3, you got to play a little more passively. But when he's a single dog, you win. He just can't beat you if you got a shield and a properly built Guardian. So we had 2 Guardians and a Raider, and we beat him like it was easy, which is interesting because I've lost so many matches, you know, on other teams where it's like they just can't stay alive versus the dog. All right, how's it going, everybody? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It is Wednesday. This is the Wednesday daytime stream. Some people are in shock. There was a political assassination today. Kind of puts a big dampening on the mood, doesn't it? It really does. Your mood is dampened when you hear about all this craziness. Thoughts on right accelerationism? I've never heard of that term before. I'm assuming what you're saying is after he has been assassinated and passed away, there's going to be some fervent radicalization of people who are already kind of radical. There's going to be some people in the middle who were diet Republican or they were, you know, Republican curious. And now they're just solidly not wanting to identify with the left or empathetic toward the right or something. So again, there's going to be very strong fallout from a situation like this. It's just not acceptable to assassinate your political opponent. Honestly, I think we talked about this last night. I felt that after Trump got shot in the ear, he almost died right there. I think after he got shot in the ear, I think that won him the election. Here we go. We do have a good way 6. Look at this. We got Mark Slowbro. I think that won Trump the election, and so it was a mistake. They tried twice to assassinate him, and I think that was a big part of his election win. He had like this perfect storm going for him. He had a weak opponent, and then he had a failed assassination attempt, and I think that was a perfect storm. All right, the keyword is Mark. So now the next chance for Democrats to overthrow the Republican Party is the midterms. They have a chance to take back the Senate. They have a chance to take back Congress. But in the first year, there's been a very significant political, like a successful political assassination on a very prominent figure, a young man, married with 2 children. He was a very, very loud Christian too, okay? So he wasn't just political, he was very religious. And so I really think that this is going to have a long-lasting effect. He's not like... He's not like some Republicans. Some Republicans are a little, like, they're crazy. They're strongly into conspiracy. They're sort of like, they have like this feeling, this tone of being like a dude bro. Maybe think of like Andrew Tate or something like that. He wasn't like that. He was a very religious person. And so because of his religiosity, I think that his death is more significant that way as well. So I think that it's going to have a long-lasting effect. Democrats might celebrate it, but it's really right now probably causing a severe reaction within the Republican Party. They're watching this going, all right, you know, the gloves are off. Here's Mark J. Valerian, 2 packs of Pokemon Shiny Treasures for Miss Saladusamary. Sarah, she gets free Pokemon? All right, hold on. Let me go looking for this. Okay, I think the Democrats' smartest move is to quickly condemn this and strongly be on the side of condemning it. I think if they entertain the more satisfying position of being like, woohoo, our opponent's dead. The more you do that, I think the more damage you cause internally. All right, give me a second. There we go. I think it's a trap to celebrate it or to not condemn it, essentially. Here we are. Elon Musk's words that the left is the party of murder is going to stick if you celebrate it. All right. You have to have a message that you're not the party of death, the party of murder. All right. Protect Tom Homan. Oh, yeah. Well, he's probably... Dude, I bet you the whole cartel, they'd love to assassinate that guy. He'd probably be like... he's like the ultimate target. All right. Oh, not the whole box, though. Just 2 of them. Here we are. Beautiful. We needed a fresh box of these. Yeah, Tom Homan. Here we are. Civil War, mister. Let's enjoy the good times. Hey, I'm just staying at home and opening Pokemon. I know how to do this. I'm like Switzerland. That's why I'm going to do fine. I'm like Switzerland. I'll open Pokemon cards and do very well with Pokemon. But, you know, I love the conversation because it's important stuff. I don't love what's happening, but, you know, intelligent conversation is a hallmark of your financial success, too. You can't be financially successful or skilled at something like predicting markets and not be able to predict outcomes from other events, too, I think. You know? Ooh. All right, what do we got here? We got Raichu, we got Sprigatito. Oh, some other big events in the world, too. The wife of the former, is it Prime Minister in Nepal? She just got burned to death in a house burning from the riots over there. They're doing riots because they're tired of political corruption or something like that. I don't know all the details. But, yeah, you can't do that. You can just burn this lady alive. So now, yeah, that whole situation's looking crazy, too. We are. I don't know what that's going to lead to, you know. Poland was attacked. Now, they weren't attacked. They claimed that Russia flew drones over Poland, and then Poland had to shoot them down. That's what Poland said. We had to shoot them down. This was an invasion of our airspace. You know, some people are calling that maybe like a false flag attack where Poland and NATO just wants an excuse to get themselves involved in the Russian-Ukraine war. Here's Mark, because a lot of people pointed out that there's really no reason for Russia to fly drones over Poland, and there's really no reason for Russia to antagonize Poland into joining the war. So people believe, you know, NATO's looking for an excuse to be allowed to get involved. But who knows? Who knows? We have no clue, actually. All right, so that goes to Miss Sarah Dusenberry, and it's a gift from Mr. Mark. They built the Parliament building down. Yeah, what I understand is they looked for people in the building, and then once they thought it was empty, they burned it down. And what they didn't know is that the wife was hiding, and she got trapped, and she burned alive. So that's really horrible. So yeah, that's some just crazy news lately. Not good stuff. So wild stuff happening in Nepal, too. They burnt down all the politicians' homes and the parliaments. Yeah, that's exactly right. Jen, she says, you taking orders? You bet your cheeks I'm taking orders. Jen, I would love to take an order. We are here. We can talk about all the news you guys want to talk. We can talk until our voices are sore. And there's some tough, sad news, some bad news, some crazy news, all kinds of news. It's a news day, I would say. Some days go by and they're just Pokemon card opening days. Some days go by and there's a lot to talk about. And so that's what we end up doing. Wow, look at this beautiful Gengar, man. How many years before this Gengar is $100? Here we are. We got a beautiful Slowpoke from the Leaf Green Collection Pop 4. Here's a Waifu-sama. Is he actually dead? Charlie Kirk is dead. Charlie Kirk was shot to death. He was at one of his, you know, debate me things at a Utah college. And from my understanding, an assassin was on a building 200 yards away and shot him. There's no king in Nepal since 20 years. What, for me? Thanks, Mark. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and add this to Mark's list here. Mark's just been doing little giveaways here and there. Today's giveaway is from Mr. Mark. So let's say you gave her 25 to make my math easier. We're going to say 520. All right, there we go. He was shot in the neck. You know, I had a hope that it was going to be tough, but that he was going to survive. He was assassinated fully. He died. Blood everywhere. Love how he just reads the comments that fuel his rant. Says Team Rocket, show the new Prismatic boxes. They look just like the thumbnail. Here we are. Here's... And they don't fit on the table. Mr. Zach says, 5 journey together. All right, these are actually the last 2 journey together blister packs. So from now on, they will be booster boxes. The entry hole was probably around a $50 size. It was a powerful rifle sniper. Here you are. Very good. Yeah, it was pretty serious. Ooh, let's see, where can I place this? I'm gonna go get a fresh box of journey together. All right, here we are. Surgeon said he only had a 20% chance of living if they were able to operate him on him right away, which was not the case. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Here we are. All right. In Utah is what made me think for a moment. Well, you know, if somebody was out to assassinate you, they can get you from any state, anywhere. They can drive, they can fly. All right. Can we show the film cell picture frame card? I've never seen that before. Yeah, it's a cool thing, man. Here we are. I don't remember where it went. Did I have one on the table? Is there a picture of one? Okay. Very nice. Rip Charlie, I agree. So here's Journey Together. 5 packs for our friend, Mr. Zach. Here we go, Zach. Yeah. Democrat Party should be fast to condemn it, and they should avoid making permanent social media videos where they say something not very smart, or like, even worse, just like celebrate it like crazy, which I think you're just going to see a lot of that, because that will become a permanent ad for the Republicans. They'll say, hey, here we are. That's what's really interesting about these days, you know, everything gets recorded now. So your mistakes, your bad decisions never go away. And that's part of the game now. Or like the poor Ukrainian girl, anytime you want to look that up, you can just look it up now. And that's why you got to make smart decisions more now than ever, because the truth will be surfaced no matter what. Wow, that is cool, Cubone. I love this card. This is well, this one's real off center, but this is a cool card, man. We are. They have someone in custody. Yeah, originally they caught a guy. He was like an old guy, but I think they said that, oops, wrong guy. So then they started looking for someone else. Why will no one say if they caught the person? I don't think they caught him. This is why Americans should not have guns, bro. You could argue that, sure. There's an open argument for that. Here's Mr. Zach. All right. Very nice. I think we were talking last night, and I said that I thought the biggest tyranny you're going to run into is not going to come from like the cops necessarily, but like your next door neighbor when he loses his mind. But that is an ongoing debate, because for the Republican Party, it's more of a philosophy about, you know, having an armed citizenry who you can't own, you know what I mean? Oh, we got guns. You can't tell us what to do. One English Pokemon Black. You got it, Jan. Woohoo! All right. They just said they have a person of interest in custody. Okay, he's in custody. Charlie turning in his grave already. They just caught another guy, person of interest, may have shot Charlie Kirk. Here's another interesting piece of news. I heard Trump call for the death penalty on this guy who stabbed the Ukrainian girl. I thought that was really crazy. How often do you get a president that calls for the death penalty on a citizen? You are? Usually presidents don't weigh in that severely. We are snipping this. And snipping this. And Sneeping this. All right. Asman just posted a 240p video rant. Excuse me. Mega Malamar was shown today. Oh, man. Pokemon news getting overshadowed a little bit. Let's look it up. Mega Malamar. It's just some tough stuff, you know. I think that there's a lot of processing to do. Oh, he looks cool as hell. What the hell? Whoa. Check out Mega Malamar. He's like Megamind or something. Check this out. Wow, that's cool, man. It really goes with sort of like a psychic, you know, some sort of mystical kind of thing. Weird. Will that be popular? I've never had a good time selling Malamar before. I don't know what he looks like. There you go. It's got some weird sex toy vibes. The colorations on him. Here goes. We got Simipour. Pokemon design is cooked now. They need to fire all of them and rehire. Yeah, he was looking like some sort of vibrant sex toy. We are. Looking like a Martian from Mars Attacks. He's a big squid. We are. Here's Victini. Hello, happy 10th. Anything interesting happened today? Hey, how's it going? Not much. Just the same old, same old. Here's Sekrom. The world is good. The stock market is up. The world is good. Not much happening. Everyone just getting along with each other. Living our lives out, having a good time, partying. We are in a high-trust society where we all just love each other. It's great. Nobody's got any mental problems. There's no radicalization here to see. Everyone just walks around feeling safe and peaceful. Here's Meloetta. Well, I've seen all the AI memes about the girl in Ukraine. It was some sad stuff, man, because it's crazy how powerful those AI pictures are now, because it can craft a cartoon political picture so rapidly and sort of explain such a powerful concept. Is ooh, so you know you got that now. AI political memes, and they're pumped out instantly. Miss Jennifer, yep, picking up the Cobalion and the Zekrom. Not bad. I like Cobalion. Everyone's alive. The Pokemon Company did a lot of My Friend Malamar skit leading up to the reveal. The Twitter page even changed to Malamar. Oh, that's nice. Okay, Miss Jen, let's grab that baggie. Ta-da! Mister, you're a dirty birdie. We need new evolution. Well, I'm just saying his colors are, you know, they're a particular string of colors. There we go. All right. Everyone's alive. No one's been assassinated. Here's Trafalgar Law. He's quite close. You know, he's only 6 spots away. This could finish over the weekend, and then we'll move on to the next manga poll. So I don't know if you got any fun One Piece loving people that want to jump in there that haven't gotten in there yet. Here's Suicune. Drowsy Koro Koro. We were just showing off the Koro Koro magazine last night. Very cool card. Okay, thank you so much, Jen. I really appreciate it. We are. All right, we have an empty queue. I think the Pokemon Company is too scared to make a new evolution. The demand and expectations are too high. No, I don't think that's it. I think Pokemon's just keeping that in their hat, like a bunny in the hat. And when they see sales slow down, which currently they're not seeing that, when they see sales slow down, they'll probably invent the new evolution at that point. But right now, when things are flying high, they're probably just messing around with whatever they want to do. This is the Jumbo Pack Break. CS Man is in here. We need 3 more people. 3 more people, and this will go off. I think the Pokemon Company is too scared. They just don't want to accidentally copy a fan Pokemon. There was, in the big leak where they got hacked, there wasn't a file, Pokemon talking about how they had to cancel a new evolution because it looked too similar to a fan's version. Purple Urkel says Charlie Kirk died. Yeah, I heard about that. That's why we started late today. I was just sitting there flipping through the news, seeing people's reaction, you know, waiting for like an update, and yeah, it updated. So it was pretty sad. It feels like a really significant thing, doesn't it? It feels like he was just such a well-known political speaker, and for him to be assassinated, it's going to be remembered for a long time, and the Republican Party won't allow you to forget it. The dark meme of making a ghost evolution by using the brick item. Ooh. If I make an order, will it make it in today's Alexis shipment, says Vicky Main. I'm afraid not. So this would go into the next shipment, which will be on Friday. But, that's just a few days away. Send your Pokies to me, Mark. I'll keep them safe. I watched the whole thing live on campus. You were watching live? That's crazy, man. Yeah, I woke up and saw the news, and I was like, no way. And then I saw the shot, and I thought, okay, it looks pretty bad, but medicine's pretty advanced. Maybe some surgeon can save him, and maybe he'll be paralyzed, or maybe he'll be unable to speak. He didn't make it. So I didn't know what was going to happen. Democrat Party of political assassinations. Yeah, I think that is something that could irreversibly damage that party. It could be really bad for them because it's going to be hard to get away from that title. I don't know what happens next. I really don't. I don't know what happens next. I think the Democrats just lost the midterms. The midterms were a big deal. They had a shot to take power away from Trump in the midterms. I think all they had to do was just wait for the midterms to come around and say, all right, guys, how would you like Trump to not have so much power? His ideas, they don't work. We're here to take care of you, the little people. He's for the rich. That's all they had to do. And instead of that, they got these assassinations from people who think, hey, this is the right next move. And honestly, I feel like that's a radicalization that's occurred on their team already. But it's because of many of the radical things they say, like Trump's already a dictator or something. And I think that has been a poor strategy that has led to this outcome. And I don't know, man. I think it's a bad situation for them. The desire to shoot your opponent rather than debate them is that is a losing position in the world. Not just in America, but the world. No one accepts it in any country. It's a bad thing. Everyone looks down on it. Here we are. I feel bad for his family. Yeah. I feel bad. They miss out on getting to spend time with their family, and that's true for anyone who's been a victim of murder or assassination or whatever. I think also Republicans should be very smart. I think that they have to be careful not to instigate revenge killings or something like that, because I think that'll also be a misstep. So they shouldn't do that. All right, because some Republicans will want revenge so badly that they're going to be thinking that way. All right, I think the Republicans now hold the moral high ground, and the Democrats are struggling with the lack of the moral high ground. All right. Hey, what's up, Leon's Cool Vids? How's it going? Will you press that upper right-hand triple dots at the top of the screen, and that'll open the description. Then go ahead and expand the description. That'll show you where you can order some cards. Feels weird after South Park made an episode about him, too. Yeah, so South Park feels like they've just been very leftist, very critical of the Trump administration, and then Charlie Kirk came up in their episodes, and they just sort of lambasted him. And it feels a bit odd for South Park, because usually when they do like a political joke, usually it's kind of like middle ground clever, like they take a stance you didn't expect. This time it didn't feel that way. It just felt sort of like somebody doesn't like, the Republican Party and their writing team. Could be them, Matt and Trey, but it felt just sort of like they're not agreeing with it. And so the jokes are pretty straightforward, I guess. They're not complicated. I wouldn't call them terribly witty. Like I could have made that episode. And so maybe that's the measure when you enjoy an episode or not, is when they do something that is so clever you couldn't have thought to do that. So they just kind of straightforwardly make fun of him. And then shortly afterwards, he gets assassinated. I said that at the beginning of the stream. I said, I think as a result of this assassination, these will be some of the worst South Park episodes now. They're not going to be looked back on fondly. And I think they risk alienating 50% of their viewers, because the country is really split. It's really 50-50 Democrat and Republican. And there's a surprising amount of young men who have become Republican conservative. And that's probably the exact demographic that tends to watch something like South Park. South Park potty humor, that's kind of a guy thing to a certain degree. It appeals to guys. It's not like a rom-com or something like that would stereotypically be assigned to a more female audience. So, they've taken this position, and now this really dark thing has happened. I think it's going to look very poorly back on them over the years. Maybe they'll pull that episode. I don't know. I wonder if they would. They've done stuff like that before, but they might not. But they're probably talking about it a little bit. You make an episode making fun of a guy, and then like a month later he gets assassinated. So oops. All right. Sorry, it's my first time. How do I know the pricing and what you have? Yeah, so we sell a lot of slabs. So the price on the slabs is right up here on the table. 280, 110, 90, 175. This is a break. $40, odds of 1 in 14. And in the description, you'll find all the booster pack prices. So we priced the booster packs in the description. Let's see. Kirk then spoke on this exact scenario. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Here we are. I'm very distracted today. What about you guys? It's a very distracting thing. It's tragic. It's a dangerous thing. It's very dramatic. So it's a bad day. Bryce Wolf says 2 Chinese Gem 2. 2 Chinese Gem 2. If I myself was a Democrat, which I am not, I would say, now is a good time for us to spend a lot of time saying this is not what we support. We don't agree with the horrible thing. And if I was a Republican, I would be saying, let's not make the same mistake right now, so let's not do it either. Because again, I think there's going to be like this urge for like civil war. You're going to hear these Republicans who are more radical saying stuff like that. Like, this is it. This is the flashpoint. Here goes Bryce Wolf, 1 raw shuffle. So no revenge assassinations, nothing like that. Let the politics play out as they will. And I don't know. If another thing like this happens, I think the Democrat Party is cooked. I think they're already kind of cooked. Here it is. Because it already happened before. It happened with the presidential campaign, 2 assassination attempts. So this is a 3rd assassination attempt, and it was successful. I think it's a bad situation over there. Here's 4 Korean lost a bussy. Lost a bussy? What? All right, let's get it. They will have a brand and an image problem now, and they have to revert. They have to get out of that. So I don't know what the trick to that is. Here it is. All right. They will have a branding problem for a while. That's all a political party is, by the way. It's just a brand. Ready? I'm worried about what else will come in the next months. Well, that's why I'm saying Republicans should do nothing. I think, in fact, if Republicans did exactly nothing, that's their absolute strongest move. Because people will decide if they want this to be normal or not, and they will come to a pretty fast conclusion that they don't want this. They don't want political assassinations. Republicans can assassinate Democrats too. It's not what you want. It's a bad society. The Democrats will be forced to admit that this was a very sad day and that this was not a good thing, that they don't approve of it. They don't stand for it. They don't aspire to it. It's, debate is the way to defeat your opponent in a civilized society. And then if they can't control parts of their party, instead of denouncing it, they just sort of spin it off as, well, it's his fault. And, well, we actually are glad he's dead. This is how you defeat tyrants. It's going to cause a fracturing within the party. That will be the outcome, because normal nature Democrats won't accept that internally. They'll be like, I can never accept that. I'm not going to do that. So it'll cause a fracturing in their party, and then they will not win any elections, and they'll lose more power, basically. And so they have to come together as one party and immediately denounce it as one party. So that's their strongest move, if we're talking about it like a chessboard. That's Bryce Wolf, Mr. Bryce. It's very disturbing and disappointing. Yeah, the video of the assassination, that's what I was saying a second ago. I said the video will remain on the internet forever now. And so every action that either the Republican Party or the Democrat Party takes, every action is going to be remembered throughout history in a much stronger way. When you read a history book and you hear about, and then Caesar was stabbed to death by his own bros, that's just something to imagine. But if there was a video of him being betrayed, you'd be like, oh, snap. It has a more powerful effect than just reading a line in a book or hearing someone say something. So videos are very powerful. And he will probably go down as a martyr for the Republican Party. That's my suspicion, is how this will be remembered. It won't just be quickly forgotten, like so many murders are, because there's a lot of murders. It's a lot of murders. All right, let's see. So now we've got Clayburst Knockley. The news channels are radicalizing people that Trump is evil and must be stopped. Yeah, well, and I think that happens to a certain degree. Because of how polarized we are, how opposite the policies are. Some people believe in having closed borders and deportations, and the other side believes in open borders and lots of immigration. And so those sides are so opposed that it's like, it's not the difference of like saying we should tax at 10%. Nah, we should tax at 15%. You know, that's a little disagreement. You can get along with the little disagreement. But when the disagreement's so severe, people say, look, I don't even want politics. What I want is a war. I want to go to war. I want to fight you. I want you dead. You got to die and go. And so that's the dangerous thing we're sitting on right now. And people may think that they want that, but trust me, it's so much better to just have a democratic process. Everybody goes home and barbecues, and no one has to get vaporized with 2025 military weapons. So I think that that's probably the much better outcome. But, you know, people are people. Humans are exactly human, and they want the violence, which humans have been violent forever. Putin's at war with Ukraine. So, you know, this is it's a pretty severe act. Again, my thoughts on it is some already radical Republicans will now be even more radicalized, and their group will probably be larger than it was. And some borderline swing voters will no longer want to identify as leftist. They'll say, you know what, maybe that party's a little too far left. Ooh. That is the outcome of this. You are? All right. It's crazy seeing the comments in like, maybe like a social media with like people celebrating. I saw one comment, it was a girl, and she said, my body was overjoyed or something like that. And I was like, really? It's like, dang, dude. There you are. I'm shook. I'm shook with joy. It's like, oh, man. But it's like, do you understand the implications of what just happened? You know, the implications, the reverberating effect, the ripple effect. You are? All right. Ooh. Look at that. Geo-Rock German. Nice. That's why we don't watch the regular news. Could I see some Pokemon PSA slabs? Hell yeah, dude. We're getting some slabs priced up right now. We are? Oops. Let's see. A lot of steps to actually learn something. Ancient Origin box break. What is that? Hey TCC. Leon, he will cycle through them, but he also posts the available slabs. For the slab breaks, if you don't hit the slab, what do you get as your floor? The floor is pretty bad. So your floor will look like this. So let's say you miss. You bought a $40 custom booster pack for break. There's 14 custom booster packs. This is the floor. A simple Pokemon card. Sometimes it's not even Pokemon, in fact, but it is a common card. So that is what you're getting for $40. So you're agreeing to some pretty risky booster packs. Now, there's a good reason we do that. I could make the floor like a $5 or $10 card. So, but then, let's say they're all $10 cards. I need to add $140 into the break then, right? So that would almost be another 3 spots. So instead of being 1 in 14, this would be 1 in 17 in order to have it, you know, the outcome financially be the same. So by having the floor be a simple common card, we are able to improve your odds significantly, which, what does everyone prefer? I'll do it the way you guys want it. If you guys want it to be high risk, high reward, we can do that. If you want a $10 card in your pack, we can do that too. But then your odds are worse. So it's up to what you guys want. I'll assemble them in the way that you guys prefer. There we go. Is your blood sugar low? Your hands appear shaky. Today, no, my hands are always shaky. When when you handle cards, your hands can be a little bit shaky. My blood sugar's not low. No, I actually had a nice little meal before we went live. So, nope. I've had people say that before. Where was that Graveler during the German occupation? Yeah, what the hell? He's looking a little too smug, if you ask me. Look at this guy. He thinks he's some kind of master race or something like that. Jesus Christ, Geo-Rock. All right. Geo-Rock. Let's see if we can find this in German. PSA 9 Geo-Rock. Wow. There's an ungraded one for almost $60. What? Let's just type in PSA Geo-Rock because I can't find a PSA 9. Oh, here we go. PSA 10 Geo-Rock, $146. Really? So I'll do half of that. So this will be $70 Geo-Rock, German. Deutsch. I love the German language, by the way. I love the way it sounds. It has such a, like, whimsical fairy tale sound to it. But it can also be very angry if you want it to be. It can sound like you're having pretzels, beer, and bratwurst, or it can sound like you're about to be going to war. So the German language is very fun. Here's a fun fact. The English language descended from German. Yeah, so it's a Germanic language. Outdoor stream still sounds like a great idea. So that wouldn't work today. We have bad weather today. But yeah, I mean, I like the idea of maybe like having a air-conditioned glass house or something like that and being able to do something like that. Mister just needs some vitamin D. Yeah, actually, if I could get a sunroom with like a, you know, like a removable curtain or something on the roof, then we could, on a nice day, we can just open that up and be in the sunlight. That would be cool. Are you watching the boxing fight Saturday? No. Let's see. Did I miss the Kirk talk? Oh, we've been talking about Charlie Kirk the whole last 50 minutes. I don't think I've said anything too crazy. What do you guys think? I do some political takes. You guys ever think I take a bad position, or you guys ever think I sound crazy? What is your perception of me, I wonder? You are? All right. I heard beer, Oktoberfest. I like to be right, basically. I like to make the right... I like to understand what's going on in the world, and I like to make good predictions because, you know, that's the skill, isn't it? That's the skill. It's the same skill as being able to buy the right Pokemon card or invest your money in the right place. It's just being able to see what's going on, recognize a trend, or being able to predict outcomes. That's a very good skill. I actually think if you had just that one skill in life, you would go really far, whether you do finance or whether you do business or whether you just do something else. You'll go really far with the ability to predict something accurately. PSA 10, Roaring Moon. Let's see. The only thing I disagree with is your hate on the Scarlet Violet. Yeah. Well, I think I've said before, the only cards that do well in Scarlet Violet are the Pokemon that aren't actually from Scarlet Violet. All right, so here we are. I found this exact card. It's for $26.50. I'll just make it $27. AJ the Great says you're very moderate. Yeah, I'd say I'm Republican leaning. There's libertarians that don't like to call themselves Republicans. I think they're kind of like Republicans, but more cowardly. I'm basically pretty libertarian myself. But again, I think the libertarians are just an arm of the Republican group, if you want to think of it like a Venn diagram. And they just don't like to call themselves Republicans. They like to avoid labels because it's cowardly. You know, you're scared to be associated with one political side or another. In the case that some group hates you, or I don't know, maybe wants to shoot you. But I lean toward financial conservatism, and I do believe in capitalism. I believe in everyone working hard, working for their own stuff. My opinion, when the taxes go too high, it's very similar to slavery. You work, but you don't get paid. So it's very similar to slavery. Although I do think taxes is appropriate, and I do think that you should have some programs to help the poor. So again, you're right. It's probably pretty moderate, probably center right, probably. We are, but on social issues, like I don't care about people if they want to be LGBTQ. I don't care about any of that, and I don't care about that kind of stuff. So yeah, I would say socially, I don't care that much. Also, there's like some Republicans that are really severe about the immigration and all that stuff. My take on the immigration is that we really ought to have a system that allows worker visas to bring more people in for working, because some people believe that the workers strictly replace people. I don't think that's always the case. But I think the current scenario we had in the past administration caused a lot of chaos, that now somebody has to come in and fix that chaos. And it just looks like a horrible thing, but it's like, well, it should have never been chaotic. And that's the issue. Here's Sylveon, and here's Carvana, some cards that have never been priced. Ooh. All right. Get off your butt and get a job. Did you see the video of our mister? Did I see the video of Charlie Kirk? I did see that video, but I saw like a zoomed out version. People have said there's a zoomed in version. I didn't see that. I don't know if I want to see it, man. It's pretty gnarly. We are. All right. I mean, the fact that video is out there, and you can watch it again and again and again and again. It's going to be so embroiling for people who don't agree with the assassination to be able to see something so gory and heinous. That's what I was talking about. Like, we didn't get to watch in detail Caesar getting stabbed to death in Rome. So many political assassinations have gone by where it's just a line you read in a book. And you don't really, you don't have the imagination to imagine the level of gore that occurs. We're in a very different world now. Now you can see it. and it's going to enrage you in a way that you've never felt before. It's going to disgust you. So you're going to see it and be not just disappointed or angry or depressed or whatever, or I guess in some people's cases, absolutely glowingly happy, which is not a good situation. But, you know, so that's going to exist now, and it's just going to play in people's heads over and over and over again for a long time. So I think the political impact of the assassination is going to be very strong, and yeah, it's going to affect future politics for a while. Here's Carvana. I've seen a lot of dark web videos since my teens. Kind of makes you numb after a while. I just hope they catch the monster. OpenAI had taken over. I seen the close-up and sheesh, I knew he was gone. That's somebody's dad. I'm still a human. I'm not watching that. Larry Ellison has surpassed Elon Musk as the world's more wealthy man. Did he? I know Larry Ellison. He's the, isn't he the Oracle guy? 271 billion. Musk loses crown as world's richest man to software giant Larry Ellison. Crazy. Notice there's always some nerdy guy in software, by the way. That should tell you guys something. You want to be rich, you need to be smart. You want to be rich, you need to be smart. It's a function of your intelligence. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It could be Pokemon cards, it could be crypto, it could be car sales, whatever it is you're into. But you got to be smart, and you got to understand, you know, how everything's working. You got like playing a video game. Understand the video game mechanics, and you will become rich, because you'll be able to play the game better and better and better and better as you understand it all. And so, yeah, being a nerd is paying dividends over the years. You want to be a nerd. It's a good thing. All right. I can't see a price for this Carvana. Let's pick a moderate price for him. He's from Power Keepers. Does he need a... No, he doesn't need a regrade. He's clearly a 9. So, be smart. That's right. Well, even if you're not born with like a high IQ, you can educate yourself. Educate yourself. Be in touch with reality. There you are. Glad he got identified. So are they sure they know who the shooter is? Mister's hands is absolutely heinous. Is it this old guy? We are. Or was he found to not be the shooter? There's a guy named Mr. Hands. I was talking about some other guy. Oh, Mr. Hands. Law, that case turned 20 years old this July. Oh, a guy named Mr. Hands. Very fascinating. We are? All right. So the queue is empty. I know this is a very distracting stream. I don't think that's going to change for a while. I will just keep pricing up slabs. If you guys see something nice, send in for it. We are. We've got a nice Iron Thorns. The Pokemon market waits for no one. Okay. There were 2 persons of interest. One was let go. Do you guys think he'll be on South Park? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They just made an episode focusing on him and lambasting him, and I don't know what they're gonna say. There it is. All right. Ooh. ICE detained South Korean works and they had visa. Oh, the drippy orbs. Any Pokemon TCG Moltres. Hoarder, that video was crazy. Show the box and I might buy one. What about the missile? The military shot at the orb? Oh, yeah, I heard about they had shot some sort of object and the bullet got deflected off the object. I mean, is that really so crazy? It sounds like they were expecting it to penetrate, but maybe it's just made really strong and the bullet bounced or something. Look at that Huntail. Bullets do that, you know. There was a new Ninja Turtle wax pack set from SDCC 2025. What? Show off the new Prismatic box. It's the same box as the one in the thumbnail. Ooh, it doesn't really fit. I think it's a pretty cool thing to open. Here it is. Oh, yeah. Those are the promos. You might be interested in those. I might be interested in those. Maybe I should just start disassembling these and put some of those promos in a stack or something. All right. When will the McDonald's have more cards in the Happy Meals? I don't know. Boy, this poor Huntail got a 9, huh? How'd he get a 9? He got a little white dot up here, huh? Yeah, that's a 9. All right. Let's get him a price. Is it sold as a set? I want the jumbo. I do not ship the jumbos. I apologize. Not the jumbos. All right. I should warn you that. So we don't do the jumbos. We always toss them away. Huntail. I don't literally throw them away. They go into a box, and it's just a big box of them now. I never do anything with them, though. I've thought about grading them, but the grading costs so much, and it's like, I don't even want to sell the big slabs. The big slabs are like, they're just too, I don't know, they're too big. So, wow, why is this so affordable? Thanks for clearing that up. Will 2026 be big or flop for Pokey? I don't know. I really don't know. Who can say? Everyone's looking at it going, how can the price be any higher than it is? And yet it's like, well, it definitely could go higher. There's no price cap on things, you know. There's no definite final price. Didn't Megas flop last time? Didn't Megas flop? I was going to say 9.25. I don't know. I don't know. What time is it? 6:14. Ready to go ahead and close this. I just started collecting jumbos this year. Yeah, it's the 30th anniversary, and Pokemon might put out some big bangers. All right. I don't really expect anything in life to get a lot cheaper. Do you guys? Like, do you think houses are about to get much cheaper? Do you think the cost of living is about to get cheaper for anything? So it's like, I can't imagine Pokemon cards, which have become sort of like this hot investor item, just suddenly losing all their value. And people are like, you know what, screw Pokemon collecting. Because I think if the cards ever got cheap enough, guys who are in it for the long run, myself included, we'd just be like, oh, good, there's a sale on Pokemon cards. That's what would actually happen. So the real question is, you know, what happens if it dips again? Does everyone just give up on the second dip? Because that would be like the second big dip, right? Would everyone just give up and be like, I don't want Pokemon anymore? I really don't think that would happen. I think that you'll have actually a larger group of people would be interested in picking up the downside. They'd be like, oh, another downside. Good. I was waiting for this moment. All right, give me a second. I got to order some stickers. We need some stickers. We can run through this stickers so fast. It makes me want to just write the price on the slab, but that never seems to work. Last time I bought stickers was in February, and I paid $140 for them. $140. Okay, and so we're going to do the exact same order. Yep. Wow. That is a lot of money for stickers. Little groups like this one will stay. Let's buy 20 acres and build 40 houses on it for itself. I think learning how to build your house will become popular. I've really been thinking about that concept, not of building a house yourself, but an understanding the exchange that occurs between laborers when you remove the concept of money. Because everyone wishes they had an affordable cost of living. Everyone wishes they had food and a house and cool toys in the house and a hot babe, wife, boyfriend, whatever. Everyone wants those things. And I think there's a sort of, you know, one of my perspectives of America is that there's been a disconnect between education and the real world. And it's like, I think what people don't understand is that what you're really tasked with in life is building your own house. You are tasked with that. Each person must either inherit a house from their parents or build their own house. But nowadays, you don't literally build your own house. What you do is you go work a job that you specialize in, that you do over and over again, and then you trade that work with another guy who specializes in building houses. So that's how it really works. So when you wake up and you're 18 or whatever, the age of an adult, you must wake up in your mind in the abstract way and realize, now I am tasked with building a home. I'm 18, I'm an animal, just like the birds who build nests, and I must build a home. And so, okay, so if a home's 500,000, you're tasked with earning $500,000 because that's the cost of a home now. So in order to hire somebody to build you a home, you need to pay that person, probably a team of people, you must pay them $500,000. And so if you're not going to build it yourself with wood and nails and copper and tiles and linoleum and wallpaper and drywall and whatever the popcorn they put on the ceilings, which I don't think they do anymore, and chandeliers, if you're not going to do that by hand, you're paying a guy to do that by hand for you. Okay, so then what labor are you doing to pay for that? Are you putting macaroni Kraft cheese on the shelf at Walmart? How many hours of that would it take to pay for one home? And so when people are always claiming we must raise the minimum wage, we must raise the minimum wage, there is a severe disconnect from understanding the exchanges of labor. You can get paid $100 an hour to put macaroni on the shelf at Walmart. That does not mean that your labor is worth 100 hours. And what will actually happen is the guy who's doing the sophisticated job of building your home for you, he'll say, I no longer want your $100. What I really want is about $5 million to build your house. That's what'll happen. He says, I know all you guys are doing that job for for $100 each. So now this house is $5 million. The house that used to cost $500 is now $5 million. So and I feel like there's this severe disconnect where people don't understand. They don't grasp it. It's an abstract idea to understand that exchange of labor. They don't grasp it. They don't realize you can't just change the price of things and that's the market now. The market adjusts. The market evolves. So, for example, if all you guys, let's say, voted for minimum wage to be $100, and then everyone working every job, maybe it's like the easiest job ever. Maybe your job is like the greeter at Walmart, and you're getting paid $100 an hour for that. Or you push carts at Target, you paid $100 an hour for that. The price of these cards would absolutely explode. They would not remain $24 and $70. This would be $240, and this would be $700 overnight like that. Because all of a sudden, all this demand would come in for it. And I'd say, oh, the demand is up, so now the prices go up. So that's how a market truly works, just like that. So everyone has money now to buy a home, so the demand for home rises. Well, then the price of the home just rises to keep up with that demand. And so that's what's really going on, and people don't really understand that. And this is why you're sold, you're sold slogans. Vote for more minimum wage, problem solved. And then we raise it, and then we raise it, and then we raise it, and then we raise it again years later, and then we raise it again. And then a politician says, I'm going to raise it for you. And you're always poor. Always. It never works. Because as soon as you've got that more money, the market adjusts. It says, oh, well, now the relative value of you working at, let's say Walmart, putting macaroni cheese on the shelf, the value of that has not changed. The dollar bills have changed so that a big number of dollar bills doesn't mean anything anymore. And so, but you're still making that exchange. I'll put the macaroni on the shelf at Walmart. You build me a home. How many hours of my putting stuff on the shelf at Walmart would you like to exchange for that? Still going to be the same rate. The guy at the home's going to say, you're going to have to give me 10,000 hours of the McDonald's or of the Walmart for my 1 hour or for my 100 hours of building your home. So it's still going to be that exchange rate. You're not going to be able to escape that. And if people were educated better, they would understand that's the fundamental problem. The problem isn't the minimum wage. The problem is your skill is too low. You need a higher skill. You need to do something complicated like the guy building the home. You yourself could build a home. Now you would be even with him. 1 pack of top Star Wars. You got it. Toasty Space Ghost is next. Toasty Space Ghost. Hey, what's up, Toasty? Ooh. So if you want to be able to quickly build a home, you need to build it by hand. Or you need to be doing a job so complicated that you're the same as the guy who's constructing your home. Your job must be just as dangerous and complicated as his. Now you will find it very easy to buy a home. You probably have to work as many hours as it takes for one man to build a home by himself, which that's still a lot of hours. You know what I'm saying? So if you're building a house by yourself, it would still take a long time. You would need resources for all the materials and the planning and the architecture and the measuring and all the skill that goes into it, all the knowledge that goes into it, all the training that goes into having that knowledge. You will still need all those hours and all the materials and then the literal man hours to build it. You're looking at like thousands of hours of work if that work is as sophisticated and intelligent as a guy who builds homes. but you're actually doing a much easier job. You're in a nice you're in a nice air-conditioned Walmart, pushing a cart around and placing macaroni on the shelf at Walmart. Anyone could do it. A child could do it. Grandma could do it. You don't have to have any education at all to do it. It's just a job it's not expensive enough of a job. So we're not saying any of this to put anyone down. My first job was at Target. Well, actually, I worked for my dad first, but my first real job was at Target. I put stuff on the shelves at Target. That was my exact job. That's why I talk about that scenario. I worked at Target. That was my very first real job, and it didn't pay well. It just didn't, and it never will. And it doesn't matter how high you raise the minimum wage. It will never feel like it's paying well because it's too easy. So you need to move on to something sophisticated, something that requires training, certification, a degree, lots of self-teaching. Maybe you have to sit down and memorize things. So that's when you start making the good money, because then you start doing a job that other people can't replicate. They go, I can't do it. I have to hire you. That's when you start making the good money. And all of a sudden, you can afford a home. So this has been a conversation about minimum wage. It's a conversation about helping people learn how to think about how to become wealthy in the world and own their own home, really. We are. All right. Let's see. Imagine one carpenter, an engineer, an architect, and an electrician get together and invite a doctor and a nurse and a mechanic. Now it's a community, and you can offer 5 teachers a free house, continue on educating their children. Mister, do you think Pokemon should do numbered cards? If they did, Pokemon would just get that much crazier. I think learning how to build your house would be popular, aka inflation, aka Starbucks, justice for the ill-skilled. So what they need is a good strategy. They need motivation, ambition. They need courage and a belief that if they take a risk, that they will have some success, especially if they keep trying. You have to be courageous and ambitious to get out there and try new things. You have to be exploring. You can't be like Hakikimura. You can't stay in your home. You have to be sociable too. You have to go out and talk to people you may not want to talk to. So it's all this mix of stuff, and then you will be able to get yourself in a better position in life. And I'm very passionate about this kind of subject. You might catch me talking about it more than once because I just love talking about it. I love this Suicune right here. Look at that Suicune. He'll be a future break for sure. I'll join the mob and start racketeering business for Pokemon. Probably you could make some money in the Mafia for a while until somebody else in the Mafia backstabs you. So I don't know if I'd do that one. All right. Mafias did not end super well for the people in the Mafias. Okay. Mister wants us to succeed. I think I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with it like a video game. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I had a successful video game channel. And the reason I had a good channel is because I was obsessed with the mechanics of the game. I love understanding the game. I love playing the game. And so life is a little bit like that for me still. Like, I just love thinking about the way things work and trying to figure out, you know, like the tricks, the mechanisms, the strategies going forward on how things are operating. And it just makes life so much better the more you understand it, the more educated you become on it. So, like, you could go learn biology, but if you don't know what the point of your life is or what you're trying to do in life, there is no point in learning biology. But if you know what you're trying to become, like an anesthesiologist, because you have a passion for helping people and you know that it's a highly skilled job that's going to pay really well, and you think you're smart enough to get that degree and pass the training and the certification, get your booty cheeks out there. So you could say some people who are stuck in a bad job are just people who don't believe in themselves sometimes. They're scared. I know I was actually. I was told by an aptitude test to go to school for computer science a long time ago, and I ignored that aptitude test because I was scared of it. I was homeschooled. I didn't know anything about physics or math. My math education was basically my mom giving me an algebra book and just saying, teach yourself. And of course I didn't. And if I didn't teach myself, she didn't care. So I knew no math when I got started. And of course I knew nothing about computers either. So an aptitude test told me to go to school for computer engineering, and I didn't listen to it for a long time. It wasn't until much later in life I listened to a lot of self-help books, and they explained that that's a mistake to have a lack of courage when it comes to getting out there, you know, and changing your life. So it's a really important thing. Don't undersell yourself. You have to be ready to take risks, like going after a degree that you know is tough, but that you might be able to succeed at. And that's a good thing. And I don't know, maybe hearing us talk about it here helps somebody today realize, hey, I'm selling myself short. Let's see. Did you see Charlie Kirk video, or have you already talked about it? Hey, how's it going, Mr. Packology? Yeah, I saw it. We've been talking about it. It's a big news day. It's kind of like this thing I think a lot of people are probably still processing. It's pretty severe news. It's nice to be able to maybe relax, open up some cards, distract yourself a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't know. You're going to hear about it for a long time, probably. It's going to be in the political sphere for a long time. And hopefully everyone just kind of calms down and doesn't make any stupid, rash decisions. Like, leaders should not say something wrong, and normal people should not go on some kind of shooting spree or do some sort of horrible act as a revenge act. Or no copycats, too, because, you know, they successfully got rid of a guy who was really serious in the Republican Party. Imagine someone else on the Democrat Party says, hey, this is a working strategy. We should do it to another guy, you know? So, no, I think it's a pretty severe and bad thing. Blake Santoro, what's up, Blake? How are you today, man? It's a sad day. Not a good day for America. Eating dandelions will keep you alive. Yes, always try. Everyone born in our society should have to live a week in the woods to get a decent gauge of what independence truly is, like that TV show. 1, 2, 3. I think I know what you're talking about. Are you saying, like, they need to understand what it means to have to be in touch with nature, or like the jungle, basically, where you have to survive, you have to find food, you have to find shelter. No one takes care of you. It's nature wants to eat you, destroy you. You know, if the flies want to eat you, the ticks, the bugs, the decay will eat your dead body. The lion wants to consume you. So that's nature. Nature wants to swallow you whole, and you have to fight to keep yourself alive and immune, and to even pass on your genes. And we're real disconnected from that concept because we're living such privileged lives in our first world societies where we've outsmarted nature so well that sometimes we get to a point that we're like living in the heart of darkness situation where you've forgotten there's a real world out there. Here's Ivan Rodriguez, and maybe tossing you in the woods for a while would, trigger something in you and make you realize what the world is. But shouldn't you just be able to talk about it and imagine? I don't know if making someone survive in the woods would be that great, actually. Ivan Rodriguez, he says $24 desktop. I think you're saying Discord. Let's see, Discord maybe? Desktop. What could he mean by desktop? Dusclops? It's got to be Dusclops. We are. Ooh. All right. I'm interested in Dan to Dan. How many packs in a box? Well, Dan to Dan. Let's see. Let me go looking for it. Oops. Yeah, we live pretty sheltered lives. There's probably some downsides to that. We forget we are an animal and we still live in the woods. We just have really advanced stuff now. I know we've got a lot of this. We got like a fresh case of it. Guess it's not saying. I hate having to open this fresh box. It's probably like 12. Everyone in my school was freaking out the second it happened. The second what happened? The second the one guy got shot and killed. Let's write Ivan Rodriguez on this. Some people are just not able to think cognitively. Well, I was talking to Karis about this the other day too, and I suppose it's something I've thought about regularly, and that is a long time ago when humans were still kind of like evolving, essentially. When we were still evolving, when natural selection was still occurring, you lived in the woods, and if you were stupid, your children died. If your children were stupid, they died. Either way. So if you were born and you just got the dumb genes because you're an idiot, you just died in the woods. You starved to death, something got you. And humans evolved in that jungle to become what we are today. We became smart over time. You know, we became a competitive animal, like all animals, like even crocodiles. Crocodiles aren't smart, but they've got a set of genes that make them survive. And we don't do that anymore. That's curious. We're actually so advanced now that anyone with any set of genes can be born, and you never get eaten by the jungle. You never get eaten by the decay. Maybe you do. Maybe fentanyl's the new decay. I don't know. But essentially, it's so easy for humans to survive now. The natural selection is not occurring anymore. And I wonder, now that's just a theory, but I wonder if that's a real thing, if humans aren't being affected by natural selection anymore, what that looks like in a long period of time. But maybe it does. I mean, because, you know, humans might not have children or something, like, or they might, maybe they kill their own kids. You ever hear about that? Crazy mom goes nuts. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a conversation about the evolution of the human race. And the idea that evolution has stopped for the human race, I highly doubt it. Evolution never stops. Here we are. All right. 12 packs in a box. The Utah governor during the police briefing made it clear that when the shooter is caught, Utah has a death penalty. Yeah. Yeah, Trump was calling for the death penalty for that guy who stabbed the Ukrainian girl to death. I don't think I've ever seen a president call for the death penalty in my lifetime anyways. Might have been some at some point. Or maybe I just didn't think about it or I missed it. Okay, Mr. Mike Size says, put me in the sleepy Espeon. Now I wait patiently. Here we are. All right, Espeon time. This is Mr. Mike Side. The price on the Dan to Dan is $5.60. What that does, says Uncle John. So $5 per pack, $60 for a box. That means there's 12 packs in the box. I guess we could have just done that, huh? All right. If you open a box, I'm just going to grab that one that we just ripped the top off of. All right, we got 3 people in Espeon VMAX. It's a good card. All right. Speaking of which, we got to get you paid, Mr. Mike Side. Today's the day. Looks like it was a hit job. Yeah, I saw an image of what they thought was the shooter. It appeared to be a guy on top of a roof again. It was a hit job. It was not just a guy randomly acting out of passion or emotion from the crowd. It was a guy hiding on a roof with a rifle. Okay. Let's see. I don't think it was just some crazy person. One shot, one kill. Trump called for the death penalty for Central Park 5 wrongly accused teenager. Okay, so let me go ahead and, what was I thinking about there? Oh, Mike's Side, yes. Mike's Side, I'm going to get you paid out real fast. So, Mr. Mike's Side, it is the day. Pokemon cards are nice because they're supposed to be a bit more of a relaxing thing, you know? Keep you in touch with reality, man. This news is pretty dark. All right. So we're going to jump over here. Beans and Franks. Do you sell Labubus? Oh, yeah. I sell all the Labubus. Oops. Okay, we're going to hit next on that. All right. So expensive. It's hard to relax. Oh, you're talking about cards? Think of it like this, though, CS man. You wouldn't want to buy them if they were cheap, and they wouldn't be impressive in your collection if they were cheap. Yeah. So they're only impressive to show off because they're hard to obtain. That's why people get into breaks and stuff like that, because it's sort of like a way to get lucky and obtain it for cheap, but then you have to get lucky. So Roger says 2 Rick and Morty Season 2 packs, sketch card, or I bust. All right, Rick and Morty Season 2. You got it. Oops. There we go. Pretty tough day. They tried having a moment of silence in the House of Representatives. Is Labubu a description or is it a specific item? It's a description. All right, here goes. Sneak. Ooh. It describes buying an item that is going to waste your money. Imagine it does that. Imagine Labubus go to the moon. Too broke to buy even when they were cheap. Oh, no. You know, a lot of people feel and think that way, but there is a pathway forward, and that is you're just not going to get to buy 10s. you know, and that's the next step. I was saying that's the next thing is you're not going to be buying 10s anymore. You know, I'd like to write a book sometime. I'd like to write a book about my experiences in the Pokemon market over the last 6 years, like major moments and events. Here's Rick Locked Up. Hollow. Nice. So these are Rick and Morty cards. I believe they're on the extended menu. Keep summer safe. We're living in some crazy times. Yeah, some crazy times. I agree. We are. It is some crazy times. Here we are. All right. Very good. It wasn't that long ago, Shinzo Abe in Japan was assassinated by a handmade gun. That's pretty dramatic. There. All right. We have Race War. Okay, lovely. Major even when Mr. had internet beef. Here's Cromulent Invasion. There's an AI assistant that can help you with writing a book. That'd be cool. All right. I think if I just documented all of my experiences with Pokemon card prices changing, I think that would be an interesting read. A homemade blunderbuss. And then I'll turn it into an audiobook. Here we are. And then if I make any money, I'll use it to buy Pokemon. Hey. Very nice. Okay. Good. Ooh. Yes and no. The Central Park 5 is a famous case, but it's older. They're on the extended menu. What? With AI, I think you can create some great memoirs. All right. So, setting that there. Mr. Roger Gray, let's go find your bag. Okay. Now you're cooking with gasoline. All right. Ugh. So now we have an order with Mr. John Cornelius. Hello, John. How are you tonight? He says 1 box of Dan to Dan. All right, so I'm going to grab you the one that we just unpeeled. We just unpeeled it. There we go. When we were making sure it had 12 packs in it. Ba-doop. Ba-doop. Nice to meet you, John. We've been meeting a lot of new people. Wouldn't you guys agree? We've been making a lot of new friends in vertical mode. That is very cool. We are also now at 98.6 for our subscribe count. The subscribes are blowing up. Oh, here's your box topper. This lady with the boobage. Very nice. I sent for the Dan to Dan box on Cash App. Nice. I just received it. Now we're processing it. Pokemon, a Mister's perspective on the last 6 years. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Cool little book. I think if it was an audio book, it would be very easy to consume because then you can just play it while you're on a walk or something. And you might learn a thing or two. Okay. Very nice. Tossing this. Mr. John. He's got... I like this cover art card. I'm going to toss you that one. Okay. The animation of that show makes me dizzy. I've never watched this, Dan to Dan, but people asked me to bring it onto the menu. So I said, you bet. And we sold out of the first case of it, like in the blink of an eye, it sold out. Then we bought a fresh case, and that case is sitting with me right now and hardly sold. Pretty much full. 56 likes. Wow. Yeah, the daytime stream and the nighttime stream get so many likes when they are in vertical mode. Is something I noticed. Like tons of likes. And I think it's basically it's representing how many people actually come and go from the stream. Like last night's stream, I think it was like 3,000 views in last night's vertical stream. The vertical stream views are enormous. People are saying, well, that's just because people discover you by flipping through their shorts, which might be true. I don't know the exact details of it. But whatever the case is, they end up subscribing. We're getting massive numbers of subscribes, too, through vertical mode streaming. It's just not even close. It's so much better than horizontal, where we were pulling in like 500 views a stream, 1 to 2 subscribers, and generally felt like it was just kind of like slowing down a bit, you know what I mean? Didn't it feel that way with the horizontal streams? Didn't it feel a little bit like it was slowing down? Which I find interesting because our channel wasn't slowing down. We're bringing in 500,000 views every month on our shorts. So our shorts views are tremendous. But it was weird because the channel live stream performance was slowly, just sort of slowly losing steam. And then we jump into vertical mode and it's right back to where it used to be. You'd go live and meet lots of new people and new subscribers. So I really think it's a shift away from horizontal streaming is what happened. It is. Okay, welcome in all you new peeps. The animation of the show makes me dizzy. 56 likes, wow. In-stream just got y'all open while I'm out at dinner. Basically on mute. Nice. Feels like YouTube. I'll say hi NHCC. Let's see. Hi NHCC. Boop. All right. AI, okay, just down the last bite of my burger. Beers next. Feels like YouTube changed their front page to push shorts more to the top. Hey, who's that? All right, here we are. Very nice. All right. Let's make Quip come in here and open all the packs. All right. So that is for our new friend John Cornelis. Hello, John. So John, now you know how it works, and we go live typically twice a day, except on weekends. And so you can find us in the daytime or the nighttime. Also, the way shipping works. So these are yours, and we put them into a nice little bag with your name on it. So your bag name will be John. And it stays over here automatically. So by default, it stays here. The moment you want to ship, there's a flat fee of $9 and it ships out. That's it. Pretty uncomplicated. You also need to email me your shipping address when you do that, okay? So you'll find my email at the top of the description, TheCardconomist@gmail.com. That's how shipping works. It's not automatic. It's when you want to do it. Now, there's a reason for that. That's because by default, we assume you want to keep adding to your bag before you post for shipping. So that's very normal. The table is full of bags, lots and lots of bags. Like, look, here's Sarah Dusenberry. She's been buying a lot of cards. She's been opening a lot. And so it all piles up into a bag and then eventually into a box if she gets that much. And then it's just one flat fee of $9 when she wants to ship. So it actually saves you a lot of money to store your bag over here until you feel like you're ready to have your stuff sent home. There you go. Just letting you know that's how it works so that you're not confused if the items don't arrive right away. Okay, cool. Yes, shipping occurs when you purchase a round of shipping. Here's Vulpix. If you're watching this and you're international, we're experts at shipping items overseas. I've been doing it a long time. So you can open up some cards over here. We just helped a guy in Australia. What he did was he bought a whole case of cards off me for like 900. And when it was done being opened, we only declared it for like 120 or something because we're not declaring a case anymore. We're declaring a bunch of loose cards. So you can be international and open cards over here. And we'll declare it as loose cards now, no longer sealed product because you've changed the product while it was in America. Also, if you buy a slab, let's say you get into a break like, and you pull this fantastic slab like this one over here. This is a pricey slab. Let's say you're from Australia, Canada, the UK, Germany, and you want to try out this Espeon. You can send 40 USD over, and if you pull it, I'll declare it for $40 because that's what you paid for it. You paid 40. So you can try your luck at these breaks if you're international, and then when we ship, just do this. Save the clip of you pulling it in case customs asks. If they say, hey, how can you claim that this is only 40 bucks? Just show them, say, here's the PayPal payment or whatever you use. We have Weiss, by the way. Whatever payment process you use, just save the payment and then show them the clip of you pulling the card and they'll be like, all right, 40 bucks. So we'll be happy to declare it for 40 bucks. It's a good thing. Read my message. Okay, sorry about that. I sent ETH for a prismatic box. Nice, dude. All right, let's keep an eye out for that. What do we got? So I was teaching people about import fees. Have you ever purchased someone's collection? A long time ago I did. There was a man and he was going homeless and I was still the game economist. I was just dabbling with Pokemon at that point. And he sold me his whole collection for $1,000. And I swear it turned into $10,000 of sales because I didn't realize it was as good of a collection as I thought it was. I was very skeptical when I tried to buy it from him. He said he wanted 1,000. He showed me a picture. I was like, I don't think this is worth 1,000. And then he told me his situation was really bad. He had roommates that were kicking him out because he can't pay rent. So he was getting kicked out like that day, and that his bank account was locked up because he had overdrafted too many times. And so I said, prove it. So he showed me a picture of his ID and his bank accounts, and he wasn't lying. So I immediately sent him 1,000. This saved him from getting kicked out of his home. And then I did another thing. I raised $600 in donations for him too. So he ends up getting 1.6 for his collection. I think it was like 1.65. So we ended up raising $650. And then the cards arrived, and I realized, oh wow, this was much nicer than I realized. He didn't know how to sell it. So he had sent me a bunch of cards that were actually pretty decent, and he just didn't do a very good job explaining that. So I thought I was buying junk. And so I guess he was really happy when it sold. He was really thankful, and he was really appreciative of the $650 that I raised. And then by the time I'd finished using the capital grading all those raw cards, I was able to make a profit off it too. And it was a better profit than expected. Like, he had this thing going on where he would have like vintage cards, and they would be in a little pile, like a stack, all forced into one sleeve. So, you open it up and like this whole round of like holographic vintage cards came out. I was like, what the hell? So he didn't do a very good job like showing me what was for sale, but he was in a bad space. So he was just doing whatever he had to do. And so I was able to help him. He was able to give me a nice deal, and it was a good memory. I'm proud of it. I didn't have to raise that $650 for him, but I decided to do it that day because I just felt bad about his situation, and I was glad that I did in the end. We are. That was back when we were still running the TheCardconomist channel, which I should get back to that channel a little bit. This is for, I just received the ETH payment. This is for Robert Tummin, Mr. Robert. All right. Very nice. Mr. Robert. That was all the way back in like 2019, by the way, and all those Pokemon cards are worth way more today. I sold them, and I shouldn't have even sold them, but that was back in 2019. Okay, we've got Brutes. I don't really buy collections too often, is the truth. UNSC Marine Corps. UNSC Halcyon Cruiser. Halcyon? Hot in the Shade. This is for Robert Tummin, by the way. Contact Harvest. Get him, Lieutenant. Or Sergeant. Hell yeah, dude. I want that guy on my team when we're fighting the aliens. And Master Chief Unleashed. And Brutal Encounter. Rawr. All right, there it is. I like this card a lot. Look how cool that one is. So unfortunately, though, no holographics in this round, Mr. Robert. No holos. Oh, did I get a text message that I didn't hear about? Hold on, give me a second. Okay, so there we are. I love the book covers. Nice. Is that what that is? That's a book cover? I didn't read the Halo books. Reading? That's for nerds. Is that Japanese fossil? It sure is. That is a Japanese fossil break. It's half full. We need 5 more people. And when it's full, we'll open up the pack and everyone gets 1 card out of it. It's $36 per card. Okay, there you go. Robert with an R. Let's go find his bag, and then let's go open up this Prismatic Evolutions. I think the Prismatic Evolutions is a really good value. Oops. Let's see. I think this is a new bag, says Robert. Oh, let me get him a new bag, everybody. All right. Very nice. All right. That's jungle. Wait, did he say fossil? What did he say? Oh, it's Japanese. That's right. It's Japanese jungle. My bad. You kind of think of them together, fossil and jungle, because they were sort of released as a pair. There was base set, then jungle fossil. So my bad. My brain was definitely distracted, trying to do 2 things at once. All right. I obviously know that's jungle. Okay, that was Robert's order. Thank you so much, Robert. Now, we did receive the Ethereum for 1 box of Prismatic Evolutions. Take a look at that real fast. All right, perfect. So this is the new Prismatic box, everybody. A lot of hype for this. This is on the menu, and it comes with these 4 promo cards here. We're not going to ship the jumbo card. It's too hard to ship. There it is. But you get all these packs additionally, 14 booster packs, and those promos look nice. So let's get into it. All right. Unfortunately, I kind of have to open it behind the camera. There's no choice. It's too big. So we got to do that with the Sea and Sky set too. By the way, do you guys look into that Sea and Sky? It's really nice. I'd love for you guys to open Sea and Sky. I think that's a fantastic thing for this group to be opening. I think it's a good deal. I think it's good value. So I like to see you guys opening the hot thing that has good value. Yeah, like I feel like 151 is too expensive at this point. Prismatic is good. And the Sea and Sky box is really good. Because it's like from 2022 and somehow still affordable. So it's like it's not vintage, but it's like sold out. Not sold out. It's like out of print kind of product. Almost out of print. It's probably out of print. I bet you it's out of print right now. Okay. This is not out of print, this set that we're opening right here. But the promos are pretty good. I'm going to have to stock up on some of this because I really like the Tyranitar. I'm a Tyranitar fan. All right. There we go. Good. And I don't know where to put all this plastic and cardboard, man. So much trash from this hobby. Okay. All right. Come over here and let's start sleeving these. Prismatic Evolutions. Here's Lucario. Lucario. Okay. Here's Tyranitar. Ooh. Very nice. And here is Lucario. Very nice. Ooh. A castle from Oblivion or Skyrim. Current, the jumbo card is a sacrifice. Cut the jumbo card. Cut the card in half? I don't know. Here we go. Let's go ahead and snip these. You ready? There we go. Let's snip it up. And we'll snip this. Snip. And we'll snip this. Snip. We'll snip this as well. And we'll snip this. I tell you what I'll do for you instead. How about this? Since I don't like to ship the jumbo card, and so for you, it really doesn't matter if I cut it in half or not. But since, you know, it has more value than just being cut in half, let's go ahead and put you on that Mark giveaway slab for free. How does that sound? Does that sound like a good, okay exchange? We'll get you on there for free. All right, there we go. So you'll have a shot now at the Mark slab, but you won't get your jumbo card. And I don't know if it's so smart to just cut it in half. Here it is. That's a cool exchange though, right? Okay. All right. Very good. Ready? Here's Sylveon. All right. So I wonder if these will have a better pull rate than normal prismatic cards, or if it'll be exactly the same pull rate. There we go. Okay. Is there a way to look at the slabs on the table? Kinda. Yeah, if you can go into our Discord server, if you can join it, we take a picture of all the slabs as we're showing them off. And so you can see basically all the slabs from the past, and they all have up-to-date prices for September. Look at that Leafeon. Hippowdon. Here's, come on, Umbreon. Come on, God Pack. Let's get Mr. Team Rocket Grunt a big hit. Appreciate you going deep on these. Hey, Master Ball, Bronze, or look at that Master Ball. Ooh. Getting ready to do my first submission. Nice, dude. Should I do tag or PSA? That's up to you. I think most people will probably just choose PSA. PSA is also, I think, a little bit cheaper right now. Probably they have a longer turnaround time too, though. Because PSA is awfully popular. And so if it's more popular and more cheap, it's going to be a longer turnaround. Also, I think for it to be cheaper, you have to be a member. So I don't know. I don't think you have to be a member of TAG. If you're not a member, tag might still be cheaper. If you can do a pre-grade on the best card, I'd love to. We'll do a pre-grade. Let's get it, man. Ooh. Okay, there's a little Vaporeon. Oops. Here's Atticus. Look at this Atticus. Ooh. Here's Noctowl, Pyroar, Whimsicott. Here's Vaporeon, Executor, Ursaluna. Oh, what do we have here? We have an item that is stuck to the other item. They were weirdly stuck together. Monkey Dory! Okay, don't know how that happened. And Giacomo. Okay, so we're seeing a pattern that we're used to. Although it almost does feel like these are hotter. Am I wrong? It almost feels like you're getting more than usual. We are. But yes, we're seeing lots of trainers come out, just like usual. Look, Larry's skill. It's a lot of trainers. There we are. Oh, Prismatic. Never stop being you. We are. All right, let's take a close look. We got Prime Catcher, Giacomo, Monkey Dory, Atticus, Vaporeon, Howlucha, Bronzor, Leafeon, Sylveon, Lucario, Tyranitar. I tell you what, let's take a look at these promos. I feel like the promos are your best cards this time. Okay. Slide off centering top to bottom, but it looks close. Oh, yeah, I like this. It's borderline. Let's try and look for finer details. Okay, no, I'd say this is a 9. So your Lucario will receive a 9. It's got some print lines on the back of the card, unfortunately. That's going to definitely knock it out of having a shot at a 10. I'm going to say actually 9 minus. So like a weak 9. Okay, so that you're not too tempted to grade it. You know it's not going to easily get a lucky 10. Okay, now is this line on the pack or the card? It's on the sleeve. Okay. Beautiful Tyranitar. It's got an oddly shaped corner and a half dot and a full dot in the bottom corner. Ooh, I'm going to say 9 minus on this one too. 9 minus. All right, there's 2 free pre-grade, or not free. There's 2 pre-grades for you. You know, you might be interested in these as well. Here, let's see. Do a quickie on these. Well, this one's actually not bad looking from the back of the card. It's got some sort of dent right there. Ooh, no, it's got a problem right in the center. See right there? So that is a surface issue, and I believe that will give you a straight-up 9. Surface issue on the Lucario holds this card back. I'm going to put that as a 6 because I think PSA would be harsh on that. And let's see. Okay, so here is the Prismatic Tyranitar. Looking clean. Let's go ahead and take a quick examination of the back of the card. Appears to have an issue right here. Can I dust that? Let's try dusting it. Oh, that's too bad. No, it's a serious problem. So the back of the card has a ink blob right here. So as you can see, there's a black dot where there is red, and a good grading company will not let that slip. You never know, though. You never know for sure. Okay. Maybe a half dot on this upper corner. There it is. Can you see it? So I'm going to call this one a 9.5. I could see it accidentally getting a 10. Okay, so you could try this one out. If it turns into a 9, so be it. But I wouldn't call it a solid 10. We know there's a flaw with it. 9 minus, 9 minus 6, and 9.5. Thank you so much, Mr. Team Rocket Grunt, for the order. I really appreciate it, man. Hope that helps you make decisions on this. When Pokemon is down, we get a new Eevee. When Pokemon is up, we get Malamar. Yeah, so exactly. So my theory is Pokemon will bring out the big guns more so when Pokemon, the hobby, is slowing down. And then they'll go, all right, let's speed it up a little bit. All right, Team Rocket, TRG, Team Rocket Grunt. Ugh. Burger King guy versus Small Imposter. Who would win? So did we already have a bag for you? Looks like we're making you a bag. Feeling sad? Hey, you know, it's not impossible for a grading company to say, ah, that Tyranitar is good enough. It's not impossible, but he's clearly got a dot in the red. And my concern is that it's a black dot. And so that's a strong coloration contrast. And they might decide, well, so I don't know. You can take a shot at it. You can either take a shot at it or you can open another box. The benefit of another box is you have a more broad, you know, chance of pulling another hot card out of the box. And then you can look at those promos too. So here's Mr. CS Man. He says the Japanese Tyranitar. Where? Where Tyranitar? We have a Tyranitar? Oh, yeah. All right, he's sold. You like this one? He's cool, man. It is 7:03. We started this stream later than I'm supposed to. We started late as a result of the news about the political assassination of Charlie Kirk. I was watching the news for a while, so I apologize for that. Let's see. I think we're going to wrap up here. I'm probably just going to go watch the news now. Again, it is 7. I know Karis will want to talk about all that, and it's a sad day. It feels bad. It feels bad. It feels dangerous. You know, all of it feels dangerous. Like, it's not a place that you will want our country to be in. You know, will there be retribution? Hopefully not. And how do people recover from having a situation like this happen? It's going to be talked about for a while. I hope to just get back to opening cards and feeling good again. Yeah, it feels like the country has some problems to solve. We'll see what happens. We'll see what our leaders do. And we'll see how people respond on social media. All right, so I hope you guys have a nice day. And, yeah, don't let it bring you down too much, I guess. That's the best thing you can do is be strong. Have a nice night, guys. I'll see you for the nighttime stream. See you later, everybody.